If you'd like to be featured on Newark TV, why not drop us a line on info@newark-tv.co.uk. Oh, and don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Today on Newark TV, we asked the question, could you unplug your child? That's the question. Well, it's all to do with a new play written by Robbie Taylor called Unplugged. It's a dark but funny satire about the death of teenagers where cutting the cord is a matter of economy. Next up is Phil from Unplugged, and do you know something? He's not sure what part he's playing.
So I'm Phil Jones. My character is Dave. Dave is my character. Yeah. It's been one of those nights. Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely Dave.
Now, what do you think to the character?
He's got some likable sides to him. With all really horrible people, there is an element of him which is actually quite likable. But you have to then kind of separate that from the fact that just to get more financially secure, he has in fact killed his kids. So he's not a great guy. But then I think the overall message of the play to me has always been, even though you've killed your kids, you still can enjoy peach yogurt. That's what I've taken from it.
You just can't believe those references are in there, can you? I mean, all the way through, it's like, in one of your other scenes that you mentioned, is that yogurt?
Yeah. It is a play about peach yogurt.
Yeah, I mean, the way that, Robbie's put this play together, I mean, I've been asking the others, how do you think he works things out?
To be honest with you, I don't know, because it's such an unusual play. It is the fact that there is so much humour in it, but actually underneath everything that's going on there is a really dark, sinister action that all these people have agreed to take, and to me, it's kind of, there's other stuff going on in there. So how do you can trust the other people, the other couples? How are you going to keep it quiet all this time? You've got to have a real commitment. And it's interesting that there's some quite uncomfortable scenes where the people wouldn't naturally be together, they wouldn't naturally be friends, but the act that they've all undertaken together, it's kind of pushed them together. And that's kind of, that to me is quite interesting, because there's a lot of undertones in there, a lot of stuff. But it's been quite an adventure. It's been going on forever.
4 years.
Working on this forever. Should make a story about it, the making of the play.
Why did you take this play on?
Why?
Yeah.
I read the script. And
so like me.
Yeah, and I to be honest with you, I really was hooked. I mean, it's interesting because there's a lot of people that write, and so when somebody says, "Oh, I've just written a script, come and read it," you think, "Yeah, okay," at some point. And I just read the opening part of it, and I thought, "Oh, this is different," and I started to get into it, and I was absolutely hooked. And trying to bring that character to life and trying to give him some credibility, because I think the big risk with something like this is that people think that what the story is about is so fantastic and so unlikely to happen, it's difficult to engage with. So there's got to be a real focus on the actors making these people real, So there's the scene that I've just done with Heather, which is really the only part of the play where you start to see their doubts, and you start to see that actually these people have got much more depth to them. The characters have got more depth to them.
Yeah.
Which sounds really pretentious, but it's really important, because if you're going to get people to suspend disbelief for the time they're in the theatre, there's got to be something on the stage they think, oh, this could happen. This could be real. I believe in that person.
And do you know what? I mean, the thing for me is, with the way that Robbie writes and what you guys are putting on, there is that level of, do you know what?
Yeah.
I could, because if times got really hard, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you sacrifice everything?
Yes.
Or do you sacrifice the kids to give yourself a better living?
It is interesting, isn't it? Because, loads of people leaving the theatre thinking, yeah, they've had it, they're toast. But it is interesting, isn't it? Because they also don't take responsibility, which is interesting, because all the way through the play, they don't really take responsibility for what they've done. There's that one speech that I've got where, he's talking about if you don't concentrate on this, it makes the whole thing pointless. But also, that they don't take any responsibility for being better parents. It's kind of, they talk about the fact that kids don't interact with them. Well, you're in charge, you're the parents. They talk about the fact that kids don't show them any love, and kids aren't naturally like that. You kind of get that from somewhere. But when they've made their decision and they've done this with the kids, they kind of absolved themselves of all of that. They just said, well, it's the kids' fault. And actually, simple solution is we'll just switch them off and then we'll be rich.
See, I love this term, unplugged. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine
They're
if
gone.
you could.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yes. But there is some really uncomfortable stuff in there, isn't there? Because you do think, when you're listening to it, you do think, actually, yeah, you know what? I know people online far better than I know people in real life anymore. The people I worked with, I haven't seen them for years. They're kind of, never think about them.
Right.
But the people online that I've stayed in touch with, they're absolutely real to me, And you think, yeah, if they all went offline, how long would it be before I thought, actually, I don't really remember what they were like. I don't remember what they looked like. Don't remember how they spoke, all those kind of things. And it is true, that kind of constant contact that we've got now, that's what keeps people real. And you take that away, and you do wonder, actually, would it be easy just to switch people off?
What's one of the funniest lines you deliver in this play?
It looks like somebody stuck legs on a chest wig. I love that. I love that line.
That really just got me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And I like the Jew as well. I like the Jew in the like when they're trying to, because he's picked up these airs and graces. He's got no idea what they're about, and just saying something to Jew and then being angry because somebody thinks he means Jew when he said Jew. I love that. I like the interaction.
There's just lots of different levels to this, isn't there?
There is, yeah, there is.
You get that level of comedy, definitely there. Then you've got the moralistic side of things going on, and your brain's thinking about this and thinking about that, and you're thinking, oh shit, this could really happen.
Yeah, yes. Hopefully not, but yeah, it could. But you've got a few sociopaths in there. Then yeah, I think people. There does seem to be a sense, where kids are a burden. It's kind of when you kind of your life ends when you have kids. There's a lot. I hear a lot of stuff like that, and I think this kind of echoes that. It's kind of that selfishness that we've got, and the fact that even though you've got kids, you want to carry on having a single life. And the kids start to become an imposition. They get in between kind of the life that you want because you've got the kids in the way. And I think this really kind of just takes that and then just says, well, here's the end result,
Yeah. How'd you find Robbie as a director?
It's different. It's different being directed by Robbie. He goes for a lot more consensus than I'm used to.
So does that mean you want to say to him, shut the fuck up and let me get the scene done?
No, I want him to say to me, shut the fuck up and get the scene done and do that again, And I know it's not his way, and I know it's because also Robbie's feeling his way as a director, and actually it's kind of a really collegiate thing. The problem is he changes his mind a lot for me, and I can understand because it's all part of the process, But it's something that I've had to get used to because generally you've got a director who's got a vision, and you're there to make the vision work. And it can be a bit constraining, but also it's very clear, and I've just had to get used to this. I'm not saying it's bad in any way. I've enjoyed it. I like the process, and I like the fact that people bring their ideas forward and it gets better. And I like the fact that I've been able to get away with ad-libbing. I like the fact that he's on board with me changing a word because that's what the character would do, and he kind of goes with that, and that's great. I prefer stage acting to film acting.
You serious?
Yeah, I do. I find stage acting is kind of more real, but stage acting you can really properly get into a character and you do it over the course of an evening.
Well, that's enough from Phil at the moment. Next up is Charlotte. As soon as she heard black satire, death of children, or possibly it's about yogurt, she was in, and all she needed was a cup of tea.
He said it's a dark comedy about killing your kids, or maybe it's about yogurt. And I said, okay, right, I'm in. That sounds hilarious. I'd definitely come around for a cup of tea and you can explain it to me.
Remember to subscribe to the channel. It's free.